Shalom! Welcome to the land of Israel. Ani Vivek Binayak, and today I have a hot date. Did you hear the word date? Oh yes, it is. I'm standing in the Mushaf Idan date farm, and there is an interesting story about this date farm, about how the people turned an accident into their biggest advantage. Well, how do the farmers in this farm grow dates with less water or with salt water? How has the business of the farmers in this part of Israel grown leaps and bounds? Today I bring to you the incredible story of the farmers of Mushan Idan. Unforgiving sun, blazing heat, and the savage sand. The sight of such conditions might make you look away. You sure won't look away from this sweet, soft and tender majul date or a juicy watermelon, maybe a budding strawberry, and definitely not from the sight of the flora of the Arava desert. Did we just say desert? Yes, challenges for the Israelis is like eating a cheesecake, but I'm about to find out what makes agriculture in a desert a cakewalk for the farmers in this dry land. Stay tuned as we show you why even the fish love swimming in the Arava. It is a spectacular sight to witness the landscape of the Arava desert. But there is nothing spectacular in 30 mm of rainfall every year for a farmer. Why would a farmer live in a desert anyway? Why wouldn't you, if you are able to cultivate, harvest and make profits with crops of your choice? Yes, the Arava desert has become a gold mine for the Israeli farmer, and behind the success is an incredible story which is definitely worth a mention. Well, the moment you land here at the Mushaf Idan date farm, you're kind of confused because when you look around, the weather looks so dry. But when you feel the weather, it is so damn cold. I cannot believe that this is a desert. I mean, the temperature here would easily be about what? 10 degrees Celsius in a desert, and that's how the winter of Israel is. But the entire farm has a very interesting story, a story of an accident turned into an advantage. Let's find out what that story is all about. It is a known fact that the nation of Israel had no land, water or people when it was formed in 1948. Possessing vast desert lands, the Israeli government set out to find oil in the Arava desert, hoping to start their economy. Strangely, they ended up finding hot, salty water, but they did not complain. They never have.
But we came from oil. We didn't find the oil, petrol, but we did find hot water. We had to find a way to income and prosper in a desert, actually. Okay. So what do we need? What we needed to do is grow our own products in the desert, okay, to do what we can to prosper, to give job, food and life to our families.
So what could you do with hot, salty water? Just go on a hot dating spree, of course. Thus began the cultivation of dates in the desert of Arava, and this has become one of the most successful dry fruits that Israel has been consuming and exporting since 1948. Believe it or not, the date tree here gives about 3,000 dates per stem and about 100 kgs per tree. All this with manpower of just 7 during the off-season and 14 workers during harvest. So the question that arises is, how do they cultivate dates with less manpower and unsuitable conditions? The primary step, of course, is to get water from underground through sophisticated pumps. But the problem lies in the saline water that they pump out. Salt water is never suitable for any kind of crop cultivation. but it seems like the date tree can grow well even with the saline water. So they used a method of cross-pollination and make the date tree suitable for salt water. It is a process of cultivating date trees which the Israelis have mastered.
We have around 100 trees of male trees. When the flowers of the males are coming out, before they're sprayed out, we are taking it out to a small factory we have in the village. We're producing the powder, okay? And we pollinate the trees with a special machine during the time when the female flowers are coming out. And that's how we get actually the dates.
Then use their trademark drip irrigation system, which ultimately reaches the root of the plant and produces a great date tree.
You know, Israel unfortunately did not have too many resources, but the amazing thing about the people of Israel is they use whatever they have and create amazing business. And everywhere we go, we see drip irrigation, and proof of that is this, of course, dripper. You can see here how slowly the water is falling into one particular place, and this feeds the entire tree of this date tree. And one tree gives about 100 kgs of dates. And how well it's grown is an example of this irrigation system. Now, by the way, all the water comes from underground. As we've heard in the story, they came here to, of course, find oil, but they ended up finding water. And they said, you know what? If we found hot water, let's just grow dates. And that's the amazing thing about the people of Israel. And you can see again how on all the two sides, the water from underground, it slowly seeps inside and reaching the roots of the plant and creating this amazing date tree. About 100 kgs per tree. There's about how many? About 3,000 trees in this date farm. Imagine the kind of business the farmers do. So, who says you have to have water? You have to have the right weather. You have to have the right soil. Anything is possible if you have the will and if you're ready to work hard and think out of the box. By the way, this farm is not just growing dates. Can you believe this farm also grows watermelons, tomatoes, it can grow onions and eggplant?
So growing the majul dates might be easy in a desert, but the farmers of the Arava have shocked the world by growing crops like tomato, watermelon, peppers and flowers. It might sound impossible to grow water fruits in a desert like the Arava, but the Israelis have found a solution to every problem. The Arava desert has abundant salt water in its land, which is first pumped out and then goes through a desalination process, making it suitable for all kinds of crops. The next step is to modify the crop itself to suit the infertile soil, thus making the crop not depend too much on soil or even water.
When I told you that the Israeli farmers can grow anything in a desert land, I was not pulling a fast one. I was being serious, and proof of that is this greenhouse farm we are at in the desert of Israel. Take a look at this. This is the capsicum plant and how well it's been growing. And again, let me tell you, every single farm, every single plant in Israel has a system of drip irrigation. If you actually bend down to see, you can see the black pipes through which small drops of water fall into the soil. They reach the root very efficiently, and the yields, the results are just inexplainable. Inexplainable, because how do you grow so many plants on a desert where the soil is infertile, there is no water? If there is water, it is filled with salt. So all these things, I mean, it's just amazing to know what's happening. Now, tulsi. Take a look at tulsi. Tulsi is grown with so much of ease. We have to take care of so much. When you grow a tulsi plant, there's so much to take care of. The soil, the water, the sunlight. And the Israelis do it so easily. I mean, they do it as if they've been growing plants for all their lives. And we thought that a desert is very, very bad for farming. Take a look at the strawberry plants. If you're a strawberry lover, my God, you can pluck strawberries as much as you want and have them. Of course, the harvest is over, so you won't see the fruit. But this is the strawberry plant, the plant which is growing very, very successfully. And just all these things. I mean, take a look at the flowers. Valentine's Day is around the corner, and it cannot be a better time for the Israelis to come here and pluck some flowers and give it to their loved ones. All kinds of colors, all kinds of flowers are grown here. And just this is what, this is why the world is taking note of the farming techniques used by the Israelis. All developed by them, by the way. They've done all this by themselves. They were thrown into a sea, as a metaphor, thrown into a sea without any guidance, without any float. And they've come out of it. They've learned how to swim in a sea, and not just any sea, a sea which is having probably 10, 12 storms. And as I speak to you, I can't take my eyes off the tomatoes. Take a look at the tomatoes. The tomatoes also are so beautifully grown. So all that we've been telling you so far, that the Israelis use drip irrigation, they desalinate their water, they mix desalinated water with salt water, they grow fish. All this is true. And it's happening here every single day. And as we speak, an R&D team is also doing research to get things better.
The farmers of the Arava Desert not only are masters in cultivating all kinds of crops, but also know how to preserve them for a long time. All the fruits and vegetables harvested go through stringent methods of natural preservation, which helps them export to distant countries successfully. Everything from the color to the freshness is maintained when it reaches the customer with brilliant packaging methods. Again, all this is done in a desert with little resources. The desalinized water in the Arava Desert not only helps farmers grow a variety of crops, but is also helping them flourish in pisciculture. Believe it or not, the Israelis are even rearing fish in the Arava Desert and are successfully importing them to many countries the world over. The most popular being the clownfish. Yes, it is the same fish in the animated movie Finding Nemo. Again, it was a story of innovative thinking which led pisciculture to flourish in the Arava Desert.
The idea of starting to grow aquaculture came from the farmers themselves. They were looking for alternative for the kids. They're coming back home. They don't have enough land for them to cultivate. And aquaculture you can do on small scale. You can build a greenhouse, small greenhouse that can support aquaculture facility. And the idea started with a few people that had this love for fish, and they decided to start this. And here in the R&D, we decided to join them and to do that. By the way, when we talk about aquaculture, we recycle the water, of course. The water are going through filters, so we don't have to replace the whole water. So we don't need so much water, actually, in order to grow fish here in the Arava.
Visitors who come to the farm are delighted to witness the different kinds of fish reared at the Arava plant and are amazed how much can be achieved in a desert.
So it's just amazing to see how aquaculture is flourishing in a desert. And it's all possible because of hundreds of years of research and development, and a lot of hard work goes into maintaining this entire building, which has aquaculture, which has vegetation, which has dates. Now, where else can you see agriculture in this pristine form? And you can see here all kinds of vegetables are grown in this state. Very less water or very salty water. Whatever it is, I don't know how they do it, but they just are magicians, I can call them. You can even see how there capsicum is grown and it's exported to the US. And as we've seen, they also have great pollinators. Now, who are their main pollinators? If I can bring you this side and show you, let me show you who are the great pollinators of this building. Yes, you see this? All these plants have pollinators, and the pollinators are this bumblebees. They help in pollination for all the plants. My God, can you put your hand inside? No, you don't want stings from a bumblebee. Apart from fish, the Arava Desert is also cultivating medicinal plants for various ailments. These desert plants are being carefully handpicked and researched upon by the scientists who want to use them in the field of medicine in the future. The Israelis have also cultivated a wonderful habit of sharing. Over the years, the farmers of the Arava Desert have gained so much knowledge in agriculture that now it is being imparted to farmers from all around the world at the ICART, Arava International Center for Agricultural Training. We slip into a short break, but on the other side we tell you how a farmer can get free training at the ICART for 3 years and take back invaluable knowledge to his nation from the land of Israel. Stay tuned.